All right, so today we're going to try to unpack Nino Brown from New Jack City.
Oh, yeah.
You know the movie,
Couple
but we're
fake wars.
diving deeper than the typical bad guy label.
Absolutely.
Like, was he truly evil?
Yeah.
Or just a product of his environment?
Right.
Or, and this might sound crazy,
Okay.
was there like some twisted genius in Nino?
Like some business acumen?
Yeah, like,
Well, he certainly makes you question your assumptions, right?
okay.
You see the ruthlessness? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's also this charisma and even at times a surprising generosity.
So we're not dealing with, like, a one-dimensional villain here.
Not at all. No.
We've got his rise to power,
Right.
the brutality,
Mm-hmm.
but then these glimpses of something else.
Right. Precisely.
I'm a little nervous to see where this goes.
Well, that's the fun of it, right?
Okay.
He doesn't fit neatly into a box.
Yeah.
We're going to look at it all, background, actions, his words, and see if we can understand this whole enigma of Nino Brown.
Well, one thing that's definitely not enigmatic is his gang initiation.
Oh, right.
Forcing him to kill Scotty's mother, I mean, that's just
Yeah.
straight up evil.
It's brutal. Yeah.
And then that chilling line, like, it's always business, never personal.
Now, see, now that line, that reveals so much about him.
Okay.
That's the code he lives by.
Right.
Detachment, cold calculation. He understood that in his world, sentimentality,
Right.
that's a liability.
If that's his business model, no wonder he turned the Carter into, like, a terrifying fortress.
Right, right.
It wasn't just drug dealing.
Yeah.
It was a hostile takeover.
Sure.
People losing their homes, violence everywhere.
But you have to acknowledge, though,
What?
turning that building into a money-making machine
Okay.
that took serious vision.
So,
He saw a market, understood the vulnerabilities, and exploited them brilliantly.
brilliantly.
The scope, the efficiency.
Were we even watching the same movie?
I'm talking about people's lives destroyed.
I know.
He was a predator.
Listen, I'm not condoning the brutality, but
Okay.
to understand him, you have to recognize the strategic genius here.
Okay.
This wasn't just some street thug.
Uh-huh.
This was calculated, organized.
Yeah.
Nino had the mind of a CEO,
Yeah.
just in a different industry.
You always do this.
Yeah.
You find a way to justify their actions, even when they're clearly wrong.
I'm simply pointing out there's more to the story
Okay.
than meets the eye.
Right.
And this is where it gets interesting, right?
Okay.
Because then we have those moments where he's feeding the homeless, giving money to kids.
Mm-hmm.
What do we make of that?
Easy. Publicity stunt.
Oh, come on.
It's all about image control. Or it could be a genuine expression of empathy, however twisted. Remember, we're talking about someone who rose from nothing to control a vast criminal empire. Mm-hmm. Perhaps he felt a certain responsibility. Oh, please.
To the community he came from.
That doesn't erase the violence and suffering he caused.
Of course not. But human beings are complex.
Okay.
We're capable of great good and terrible evil.
Yeah.
Nino embodies that duality in a way that's both unsettling and fascinating.
Okay, I'll admit, the relationship with Scotty is fascinating.
It is.
Even though it's messed up,
Right.
the way he tests Scotty almost mentors him.
Yeah.
It's like a twisted father-son dynamic.
Classic power play. He was grooming Scotty,
Yeah.
molding him into a protege.
Right.
Think about real-life kingpins who've infiltrated law enforcement.
Okay.
They understand the power of relationships, how to cultivate loyalty and use it to their advantage.
It makes me sick.
I know.
How he used their past,
Yeah.
manipulated Scotty's vulnerabilities, and
Right.
poor Scotty had no idea.
But that's what makes Nino so compelling. He was a master manipulator.
Right.
Able to read people.
Identify their weaknesses and exploit them for his own gain.
Yeah.
He understood human psychology on a deep level.
You make it sound like a good thing.
No.
Manipulation is never okay.
I'm not saying it's ethical. I'm saying it's effective.
Okay.
And that effectiveness, that ability to influence and control, it speaks to a certain kind of intelligence.
Okay.
Whether we like it or not, Nino was a force to be reckoned with.
You're really getting on my nerves.
But isn't this exactly what we're here for?
Well.
To delve into the complexities, to understand how someone like Nino could exist?
All right, fine.
Okay.
So let's talk about his trial, his courtroom rant, blaming society.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I draw the line.
Okay.
He's a drug dealer.
Right. He made his choices.
But even in that rant, there's something intriguing.
Like what?
He points to systemic issues.
Ugh.
Poverty, lack of opportunity, the
Maybe.
hypocrisy of a system that profits from the very thing it condemns.
Okay.
Is he deflecting blame?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He is.
But is there a grain of truth in his words?
A grain.
Perhaps.
He built an empire on suffering. He's trying to justify his actions.
He is, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But he's also a product of the environment he describes.
Right.
He saw a way to escape poverty, to achieve the American dream.
Well, hold on.
Albeit through twisted and illegal means.
He can't justify his actions by claiming it's the American dream.
I know, but...
There are other ways to succeed, ways that don't involve exploiting and killing people.
Of course there are.
Okay.
But Nino's story raises uncomfortable questions about the nature of that dream, the allure of power and wealth,
I can't.
and the lengths people will go to achieve them.
You're seriously trying to paint him as some kind of tragic hero.
No, not a hero.
I'm starting to regret agreeing to this deep dive.
No, but a fascinating case study in the psychology of ambition.
Okay.
And how it can be warped by circumstance and opportunity.
Think about it. Nino was a brilliant businessman, a natural leader.
Okay.
What if he had applied that talent to legitimate pursuits?
He wouldn't have been Nino Brown.
Right.
He was a ruthless criminal who deserved to be taken down.
And he was. His downfall was violent, no question.
Yeah.
But even at his demise, there's a certain poetry. Yeah. A sense of justice being served.
Right.
Scotty's revenge for his mother's death. It's a powerful moment, a culmination of their twisted relationship.
I'm glad he's gone.
Sure.
It's poetic justice.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But it's worth asking ourselves, did Scotty, in seeking revenge, become consumed by the same darkness that drove Nino?
I don't know.
Or is it possible to escape the cycle of violence once you've been caught in its grip?
This is all so messed up.
Wow.
I need a break.
That's the power of a character like Nino Brown.
Yes.
He forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, our society, and the complexities of human nature.
You and your complexities.
Oh, no, I know.
I still think he's a monster.
Maybe he is, but
Yeah.
understanding a monster doesn't make you one.
Okay.
It simply makes you more aware of the monsters that lurk both within and around us.
We're not even halfway through this deep dive.
I know.
And I'm already exhausted.
Don't worry, it gets even more interesting from here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like still trying to process all of this. You know? I mean, Nino's story, it's definitely entertaining, but it's also like deeply disturbing.
Right.
It's kind of like watching a train wreck, you know?
Yeah.
You can't look away, even though you know it's going to be bad.
Exactly. That's what makes a character truly compelling, right?
Oh, okay.
He gets under your skin, forces you to confront uncomfortable truths, and maybe even question your own values.
You know what, like, really gets to me, though?
What's that?
The manipulation.
Ah, yes.
How he just uses people, you know? Plays on their weaknesses.
Right.
Especially with Scotty. It's so predatory.
And yet, you know, it's also a testament to his intelligence, wouldn't you say?
What do you mean?
To manipulate effectively, you need a deep understanding of human nature.
Okay.
The ability to recognize vulnerabilities and exploit them.
Right.
It's a dark art, but incredibly powerful.
You make him sound like some, like, evil genius or something.
Well, he was certainly a genius in his own way, wasn't he?
Okay.
He built an empire, amassed wealth, commanded loyalty, all outside the law.
Right.
That takes a brilliant strategic mind
Okay.
that can anticipate moves and counter them.
So.
Just like a chess grandmaster.
Okay, fine. He was smart.
Yeah, right.
But using your intelligence for evil doesn't make you admirable.
No, it doesn't. But it makes him fascinating to study, wouldn't you say?
I guess.
Remember, this is a man who rose from nothing, from the streets, to control a vast criminal empire.
Right.
That's the American dream, isn't it?
What? No.
Achieving success through hard work and determination,
Okay.
even if the path is a little conventional.
The American dream.
Wow.
He destroyed lives. He was a drug dealer who preyed on the vulnerable. Are you seriously comparing him to someone who builds a successful business?
Hold on.
Or invents something groundbreaking?
I'm simply saying there are parallels.
Right.
The drive, the ambition, the willingness to take risks and break the rules. Nino had all of those qualities.
Okay.
Imagine if he had channeled them into something legitimate.
Okay.
He could have been a titan of industry, a captain of finance.
They're twisting things around to fit your narrative.
No.
Are you saying anyone who's ambitious and willing to bend the rules?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But I am saying that the line between success and criminality can be thinner than we'd like to admit.
I don't know about that.
It's all about context, opportunity, and choices.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. So, according to you, Nino's just a misunderstood entrepreneur.
I wouldn't say misunderstood.
Someone who just happened to choose the wrong path.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
Okay.
But his story does raise questions.
So, here we go.
About the systems that create opportunities for some and obstacles for others.
Right.
What if Nino had access to better education, better job prospects?
Right.
Would he have chosen the same path?
This is ridiculous.
We're
talking about a man who ordered murders, terrorized communities.
I know, but
you can't just wave it away with what-ifs and systemic issues.
I'm not waving anything away.
You are.
I'm trying to understand the complexity of his character.
Okay.
And the forces that shaped him. He wasn't born a monster. He was made.
You always find a way to justify their actions, even when they're clearly in the wrong.
I'm simply trying to look beyond the surface.
Okay.
To understand the why behind the what. And in Nino's case,
I believe that why is deeply rooted in the American dream.
Oh, God,
on the pursuit of success, no matter the cost.
I give up.
What?
You're not hearing me.
On the contrary.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you perfectly.
Okay.
But I'm also challenging you.
To what?
To consider a different perspective.
What perspective?
To see Nino not just as a villain.
Okay.
But as a product of his environment.
Right.
A reflection of our own societal values.
Well, I think we need to move on before I really lose it.
Okay.
What else is there to discuss?
Remember those acts of kindness we talked about earlier?
Which ones?
Feeding the homeless, giving money to kids.
Oh, right.
Let's delve into that a little deeper.
Here we go again.
No, I think those moments reveal something crucial about Nino's psyche.
Like what?
He wasn't just a cold-hearted criminal.
Mm-hmm.
He had a conscience, however twisted.
Okay.
Perhaps those acts were a way of justifying his actions.
Okay.
Of balancing the scales, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Or maybe, he just enjoyed the power.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The adulation, the image of being a benevolent gangster.
That's certainly possible.
Right.
But consider this. What if those acts of charity were a way of staying connected to the community he came from?
Okay.
A way of giving back.
Right.
Even as he was taking so much.
You're really good at twisting things around, aren't you?
I prefer to think of it as exploring the nuances.
Okay.
And Nino Brown, despite his undeniable brutality, is full of nuances.
Okay.
He was a paradox, a complex and contradictory figure who defied easy categorization.
Okay, I'll bite.
Okay.
What kind of paradox are we talking about here?
Think about it.
Okay.
He was a ruthless drug lord, but also a charismatic leader, man of the people.
Right.
He preached self-reliance and community responsibility, yet built his empire on exploitation and addiction.
Right.
He was capable of chilling violence, yet also displayed moments of genuine empathy.
So
he was, in many ways, a microcosm of the society that created him, full of contradictions, aspirations, and darkness.
So you're saying that Nino is a reflection of us?
Not exactly.
But we're all capable of becoming him.
I'm suggesting that his story is a cautionary tale.
Okay.
A reminder that the pursuit of success, when unchecked by morality and compassion, can lead to devastating consequences.
Okay.
Nino's rise and fall is a mirror, reflecting back at us the shadows that lurk within our own society.
Okay, that's actually a pretty profound thought.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just the beginning.
Oh, no.
We haven't even touched on the psychological implications of his relationship with Scotty.
Like what?
The Oedipus complex, the mentor-protege dynamic.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I need a minute to process all that.
Take your time. We're in no rush.
Okay.
The deeper we dive, the more fascinating it becomes.
This is either going to be the most insightful deep dive ever, or I'm going to walk out of here needing therapy.
Perhaps both.
Maybe.
Let's see where this journey takes us, shall we?
Okay, sure.
What stands out to you about Nino's relationship with Scotty?
Oh, okay. I think I'm ready to dive back in.
Right.
Although I'm still a little wary, this whole Nino Brown thing.
Yeah.
It's really gotten under my skin.
It gets to you, yeah.
I mean, you're right. He's fascinating, but he's also, like, completely reprehensible.
That tension, that conflict, that's what makes him so compelling, wouldn't you say?
I guess.
He forces us to confront uncomfortable truths
about
ourselves and the world around us.
You know, something you said earlier really stuck with me.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
The whole American dream connection with Nino.
Right.
It's creep messed up.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean. He was driven, ambitious, and that line, "Am I my brother's keeper?"
Yes.
It's like
powerful.
A twisted version of social responsibility.
Brilliant observation.
Thanks.
He understood the power of branding.
Right.
Of creating a narrative that resonated.
Yeah.
Am I my brother's keeper? It speaks to community obligation.
Right.
But Nino warped it.
Yeah.
Used it to mask his own greed and ambition.
He took something good, something noble, and twisted it to serve his own selfish purposes.
Exactly.
It's the same with the whole entrepreneur comparison.
Oh, right.
Yes, he was smart, resourceful, but he used those talents for evil.
But isn't that the tragedy of Nino Brown?
What do you mean?
He had the potential for greatness.
Okay.
The drive, the charisma. What if he'd channeled that energy into legitimate business? Okay. Imagine the empire he could have built, the lives he could have impacted.
Don't you dare try to romanticize this guy.
He
was a monster.
Okay.
A criminal who destroyed countless lives.
All right.
He deserves no sympathy.
I'm not suggesting sympathy, but understanding.
Okay.
Understanding doesn't equal condoning.
Right.
We can acknowledge his intelligence, his ambition, even his entrepreneurial spirit.
Sure.
Without excusing his actions.
Fine.
Okay.
But I still can't shake this feeling.
What's that?
That there's a darkness in him.
Yeah.
That goes beyond ambition.
Okay.
A fundamental lack of empathy.
Right.
He used people like pawns.
Yeah.
Discarded them when they were no longer useful.
But that ruthlessness.
Yeah.
That willingness to sacrifice anything and anyone for his goals, that's also part of what made him so successful.
Meaning?
He understood that sentimentality is a weakness in the game of power.
I hate that you're right.
I know.
It makes me wonder, is that what it takes to succeed in this world?
What do you mean?
To be ruthless, to step on anyone who gets in your way?
That's a profound question, and one that's been debated for centuries. Does power corrupt? Or are certain individuals simply drawn to it because they lack a moral compass?
Right.
In Nino's case, I'd argue it was a combination of both.
You know what I think?
What?
I think deep down, Nino was terrified of ending up back where he started.
Okay.
He clawed his way out of poverty.
Right.
And he would do anything to stay on top.
Yeah.
Even if it meant sacrificing his soul.
That fear, that desperation.
Yeah.
It can drive people to do terrible things. And in Nino's case, it fueled his ambition and twisted it into something dark and dangerous.
Yeah.
He became a slave to his own success, trapped in a cycle of violence and paranoia.
So he built this empire.
Yeah.
But it ultimately destroyed him.
Right.
It's like a classic Greek tragedy or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He achieved the American dream, but at a horrific cost.
Yeah.
And in the end, it all came crashing down.
So what's the takeaway here?
Well,
what are we supposed to learn from Nino Brown?
I think his story is a warning.
Okay.
A reminder that the pursuit of success, when divorced from ethics and compassion, can lead to self-destruction.
Right.
Nino's ambition was his greatest strength.
Yeah.
And his ultimate downfall.
It's also a reminder that the American dream,
yes,
while a powerful and inspiring ideal,
absolutely,
can be twisted and corrupted.
Right.
For Nino, it became a justification for his brutality.
Yeah.
A means to an end rather than a true expression of his potential.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Thanks.
We can't just blindly chase success without considering the consequences,
right?
The ethical implications.
Yeah.
We have a responsibility to ourselves and to society to use our talents for good, to build a better world, not just for ourselves, but for everyone.
This whole deep dive has been, well, it's been unsettling.
It's a lot to take in.
I'm still wrestling with my feelings about Nino.
I understand.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
But he's also a cautionary tale.
Right.
A reflection of our own desires and ambitions.
That's the power of great storytelling, isn't it?
I guess so.
It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths.
Yeah.
To look at the world and ourselves in a new light.
Despite all the frustration and anger I felt during this conversation,
yeah,
I do appreciate the insights you've shared.
well, thank you.
I still disagree with you on a lot of points,
That's okay.
but you've definitely given me a lot to think about.
And that's the beauty of a deep dive like this.
Yeah.
It's not about reaching a definitive conclusion,
Right.
but about sparking a dialogue,
Yeah.
challenging our assumptions,
Right.
and expanding our understanding of the world around us.
Well, to our listeners,
Yes.
we leave you with this.
Okay.
Nino Brown, though a fictional character,
Right.
represents a very real darkness that exists within humanity.
Yeah.
What choices will you make to ensure that darkness doesn't consume you?
That's a good question.
How will you use your talents and ambitions to make the world a better place, rather than contributing to the cycle of violence and exploitation?
Important questions.
These are questions worth pondering.
Absolutely.
And we encourage you to continue the conversation.
Yes.
Until next time, keep diving deep.